But I want to go over to Yahoo Finance's Jared Blikre, who is at home today, not in the studios, but is still going to be able to break down all of today's trending tickers. So Jared, let's just start with AT&T. What's happening with them?
Ma Bell, it's all about the subscribers. We know that they're spending a lot of money to ramp up 5G and buy all that broadband. And guess what? They got a lot of stuff on their balance sheet. And some people would call it kind of a hot mess. They're trying to divest some of their assets, entering into a partnership with for DirecTV so that it's not on their balance sheet, trying to spin off Warner Media, which contains HBO Max with Discovery. But let me just read some of the analyst commentary here. We have Evercore rates it in line with a price target of $32, saying that AT&T delivered strong mobile subscriber growth, even as Verizon, our parent company, and T-Mobile stepped up their promotional and retention activities. So AT&T had this incredible get a phone for free promotion, which Verizon later introduced. I believe they just ended it. So a lot of money being spent right there. I believe they said they rate it in line with a price target of 32. But I also have a note from New Street, and they're saying it's always difficult to parse the market reaction to such a tangle of businesses, recommending focusing on the wireless business, which delivered strong results. They rated a buy with a price target of 37. This is a year-to-date chart. Stock really hasn't done much over the last, year-to-date, or year, or 2 years, or 5 years, or 20 years. Yeah, you get the picture. We'll have to see what happens next, guys.
It's great to see a long-term picture just like that because of that graph there, Jared. Want to get to Texas Instruments because they were out with earnings. I guess the outlook disappointed, and that is causing at least one firm to downgrade the stock. What can you tell us?
Yeah, it was kind of puzzling because they beat on all their key metrics, and then they didn't give a very strong outlook, and the street is puzzled. There was no explanation on the call. So let me bring up Texas Instruments here. You can see, over the last 20 years, it still have that time frame up nicely, but it's down 4% today. So let me dial this back to a year to date, and I'll give you some analyst commentary. Bloomberg Intelligence is saying conservatism and non-Texas Instruments part-related constraints may have dampened TI's third quarter guidance to below seasonal norms. But here's something from Raymond James. They rated an outperform price target 230 they raised it to 230 from 220. But they're also saying the report was puzzling because revenue was significantly ahead of expectations, but it guided revenue flat without much explanation for the conservative guidance. Given how strongly Texas Instruments has beaten its outlook in recent quarters, we now consider the guidance to be meaningless. The company likely suffers from a lack of confidence at the macro level, despite what clearly continues to be tight supply conditions, not only at both TI, but also the semi industry at large. I just want to close by adding that Brian Sozzi was saying this morning he was on the call last night, lasted all of 7 minutes, didn't answer any questions, and he thought it was a waste of time. Let me tell you guys, I know Brian Sozzi, don't waste his time.
All right, Jared, let's look now at cryptocurrency. It wouldn't be a conversation between you and I if we didn't mention one of the cryptos at some point. I know that Bitcoin is making a slight rebound. Tell us about what we're seeing in cryptos right now.
Yeah, I'm almost getting slightly excited. A number of events over the last 22 hours, and you can see Bitcoin, let me get this to a percentage change. Bitcoin up just slightly, and I'll pull up a chart here and then get in some commentary because we did have an interesting meeting of the minds last night with Cathie Wood, Elon Musk, and also at Jack. And it was interesting. I got some nice commentary from Elon. He said SpaceX holds some Bitcoin, hasn't sold any. And he also said, I might pump, but not dump. And I would like to see Bitcoin succeed. But also we got some news this morning that JP Morgan is giving their wealth management clients access to crypto funds. And these are some of the Grayscale Investment Trust, GBTC, that most people know. But these products are only available to accredited investors, which means you have to have a high enough net worth or income. And there's still nothing for the average investor. Also want to add that Guggenheim's Scott Minerd sees Bitcoin heading down to 15,000. Personally, I don't. I want to pull up a chart of the last 1 month. It could, by the way, if we crack my magic level of 30,000 or actually 29.5 now. But we are peaking above this trend line. It's just the bareliest of bullish that I could possibly get off this. I'm not going to get excited until I see it clear 35,000 over here.